we are now on the record in the matter involving James Lucky, complainant, and Milwaukee County respondent. ERD case number is CR 2021-01845, and the corresponding EEOC charge number is 26G 2021-00859C. Today's date is May 25th, 2023. The hearing is being conducted and recorded via WebEx video conferencing software. I'm Anne Marie Molitor, the administrative law judge who has been assigned to this matter, and it is now exactly 9:30 a.m. Again, I will start with the appearances, and for the complainant.
For and behalf with Mr. Lucky is Ben Hitchcock Cross of Cross Law Firm.
All right, and on behalf of the respondent. Oh, you're on mute.
Every morning, gets me every morning. Good morning, Your Honor. Melinda Lawrence on behalf of Milwaukee County.
Good morning. All right, are we ready to take up where we left off yesterday afternoon with the direct examination of Mr. Lucky?
Yes, please.
Okay, then let's go ahead.
Okay. So Mr. Lucky, I know we were closing in on sort of your final months of employment here, but I want to just back up on a few more things before we do that. So was there ever a time that you were out on COVID?
I was, twice.
Okay. And at any time during that, while you were out on COVID, was there an issue with you being on a Facebook Live post?
I had a couple white deputies calling me, which I reported to the higher, to supervisors, asked me about my health status, harassing me, didn't let me recover peacefully, accusing me for being in an actual protest group because of a Facebook Live video I posted on my Facebook page while I was at home in the comfort of my home, healing from COVID, isolated.
So, but did you make a political statement at that time?
I didn't.
Okay.
I just reposted a video, a live video.
Okay. So, I mean, what was the activity? What were you doing in this video?
I wasn't doing anything in the video. I reposted somebody else's video. It was on Facebook, and I reposted it because it was a guy preaching, and he was giving out a powerful message. Okay. And I felt the need to repost it because it, it tied in, and he was bringing the community together and things like that. And then I had deputies calling me, saying, "Why you out in the group? Like, you should be, don't you have COVID?" One, in my medical business. Two, I won't violate COVID restrictions. So every time I was out on COVID, I isolated in the comfort of my home and isolated in one room.
Okay, I think I got that. But so the act that you committed while you were on COVID was reposting something else. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay.
And then when I got back from there, I was mistreated. I was targeted even more. Like, people thought that whole perception, that rumor that spread, it caused people to mistreat me as if I wasn't a team player, as if I was faking from COVID. And medical records can be pulled. I really had COVID, had the symptoms, and I'm not sure why, but that whole rumor right there, and I went to management about it. They failed to do anything.
Okay. And you thought it was improper that, why did you feel it was improper that deputies were contacting you?
I didn't think it was proper at all. They called me on their own time. I remember calling Sergeant Gladdy for sure because it was some of his staff, and it wasn't a union matter or anything like that. I called him, and me and Gladney he said he gonna make sure he get that back to higher management. I'm not sure if that was even passed along.
Okay, and these deputies that were calling you, what were their race?
They were white.
So I just want to share with you a few documents here. Did you see this document here?
Yes.
Okay. And this is from Sarah Ronsky. Do you know who that is?
Yeah, she's a captain at the time. I'm not sure if she still is captain at the training academy.
Okay. And then if we look down here on Saturday, June 6th of 2020, is this about when you had COVID?
Yes.
Okay. And this is to Jason Hodel. Who was he to you at that time?
He is the captain of internal affairs at that time over, I believe. Yes.
He's over. Okay. So he has the job that Novotny has now. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And then to Charles Stowers, who was he to you at that time?
He was also, I believe, in internal affairs at the time. The same, yeah, he was, I believe, in internal affairs.
Like investigator, like Mr. Smoot?
Yes.
Okay.
What document is that?
Thank you for reminding me. That is, I believe, 49. 49.
All right, thank you.
Okay. So I believe I understood, and can you see the whole?
Yes.
Okay. I believe you were talking about that there was somehow you were being mistook for another Black person.
Correct.
Can you explain why you think that would happen?
Because it was a Black group there. I didn't see any white people in that video. And, you know, then when I brought it to Gladney's attention, is that when I brought it to him, it seems as if he also knew about it, the way he was talking, as if he was already updated on it, but he didn't know people was calling me. I updated him about that, but he said, yeah, they're saying they see you in the video, you know, and that's what Gladney said.
Okay, so what you actually did was just post, but people, were the white deputies perceiving you as being in the video?
Correct.
But you weren't in the video?
Correct.
Okay, but it was other Black people?
Correct.
Okay. And from that, did you believe that they, I mean, how long had you worked with these deputies, for example?
But for years.
Years, okay.
Yeah.
And they couldn't even tell the difference between you and somebody else, is that right?
Correct.
Okay. Did that make you feel human at that time?
It didn't. I felt singled out. I was already the fewest, you know, only Black person on patrol, and by that, you know, that rumor being spread, when I got back, I was mistreated. Nobody wanted to back me up or do anything with me. You know, it's just like I just felt alone.
Okay. So, and then you've heard accusations here that you weren't being a team player before, right?
Yes.
And that you were unavailable or abusing FMLA. Did you hear those accusations?
Yes.
Okay. And this misidentifying you for another Black person, do you believe that contributed to those perceptions as you not being a team player?
Right.
Okay. And in fact, you got more feedback about you not being a team player after that incident?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, nobody believed me even when I got back, and I told them like I was at home, you know, and I shouldn't have to be showing people pictures of my home to show proof. Like I just felt uncomfortable, and I was recording a lot of protesting things. Like even when the sheriff department had to close down the freeway, I was just recording certain things. I reposted, you know, positive messages. All that video was about a Black guy, preacher, whatever, speaking at a group, at a protest group. And I feel like that message needed to be spread. Everybody needed to get together. Everybody was alluding and, you know, doing the wrong things. And, you know, he was bringing the community back together and trying to find a better resolution besides the anger, you know, when that, I believe when the George Floyd incident happened.
Okay. So you believe you were putting out a positive message?
Yeah, it definitely was.
But you were put under scrutiny instead?
Correct.
Okay. When you were a sheriff's deputy, did you ever receive any training about identifying people of different races?
I remember a cultural competency course.
Okay, and did it discuss any issues about misidentification of people with different races?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Let me put this another way. During your experience as a deputy, did you ever witness white deputies misidentifying Black people?
Yes. Several times. It's working at the lakefront. You get a call, hey, Black guy wearing a red shirt. You know, happened to be the wrong guy. It was a huge deal down at the lakefront before they misidentified. And he said, what are they talking about? Everything got so hostile. you know, and like I said, they can review all my body cams, and no matter what narrative they portray, you will never catch me being unprofessional because I wore a body cam. Now, what you will notice are the older deputies who get away with everything, especially the white racist ones, get away with everything. They somehow don't get punished for not wearing a body cams or not wearing a audio recorders, but I wear mine 24/7. That's why all those citizen complaints they reviewed against me, it wasn't sustained because I did my job and I did it properly. And Captain Devine can also agree with that while he on here. He know I did an amazing job. I was very professional at every scene. It just, if I never made these complaints about race, I would never be without a job.
Okay, and but just let me back you up though for 1 second there, because you're saying there's been times where, and you mentioned one at the lakefront, where white deputies misidentified one black person for a black suspect. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. And did you have that in mind when you were misidentified for another black person in a video when that happened, this similar thing happened to you?
Yes.
And do you have any reason, do you believe that you were being put under more scrutiny by your white deputies?
Yes.
Why do you believe that?
I felt like I had a target on my back. I was uncomfortable at work. I was being left alone on major calls where it requires multiple deputies to respond. And like I said, the supervisors, they won't admit today, but at that time frame, I'm not sure what was discussed. It's like everybody involved in this case is somehow promoted or got a good deal with a 10-day suspension. Everybody that was involved in this case. But
when you were working for Milwaukee County, did you ever get did anybody ever make any comments about your hair?
yes. You had white supervisors telling me locks wasn't appropriate. Because
By locks, what do you mean?
My dreadlocks. I started my lock journey. I know Sergeant Gladney also came up to me, hey, dreadlocks is not prohibited, and this is a paramilitary organization. You know, unfortunately, he's not able to grow hair. I'm not, but I can, so I want to be able to, be able to try different hairstyles. Like I've seen white people wearing mullets and those long slick backs and all those kind of things. So I said, you know what, let me start my lock journey. And in the policy, it does not say that dreadlocks are prohibited. It says you must be well-groomed, fashionable, and be professional looking and things of that nature. It never once prohibited a certain hairstyle. So when I wore this, how come I'm singled out? When I was wearing haircuts, different haircuts with the parts in there, with the high top froze, the low froze, with the fancy bald fades, a policy came out saying, hey, trendy hairstyles is prohibited.
Okay, and I appreciate that, but I just want to stop you to help me clarify here. You started wearing hairstyles.
Correct.
Can you just describe, because I know you gave names for that, but are those hairstyles that are typically associated with black fashion?
Correct.
Okay. And then after that, I'm sorry, you were saying what happened?
A policy came out that they snuck in there right after I was addressed about the hairstyles, said trendy hairstyles are prohibited.
So that was the word they used, is trendy?
Trendy, yeah, that's the key word I remember, trendy.
And do you believe that referred to you?
Yes, definitely. I was the only one wearing the best hairstyles.
Okay. And did anybody make any comments that made you believe that statement was referred to you?
Yes, because when Deputy Sergeant Gladney came up to me telling me that my locks is not appropriate, they don't like it, you know, as if he had a conversation with someone about it.
He told you they don't like it?
Yeah, he said they don't like it.
Okay.
It's not professional. This is a paramilitary organization, and policy does not classify what hairstyles are prohibited. Now, as long as you groom, look professional, and things of that nature, unless dreadlocks fall under the unprofessional look, unless people need to be more precise with the policy, I'm not sure.
So when Mr. Gladney was telling you that they don't like your hairstyle, did you understand what hat he was wearing at that time?
A sergeant.
Okay.
Yes. Sergeant.
Why do you believe that?
I never speak to him. He never. This is the first time during this instance where the hat, the role of a professional, nobody like, hey, I'm all right. Mr. Lucky, I'll be president Gladney of the deputy association. Never nothing like that. It's always you just talk to him as you see him. He's always on the clock. So I'm assuming he's always a sergeant. And when this instance came out with the threat, people don't understand. We put in our own time working for the sheriff department. We put in our own time. So with Smooth having private conversations with Sergeant Gladney, looking out for him, and even though they best friends, been in the same class since their academy days, which is a conflict of interest. You know, we manually go in there and insert our own personal time.
What does that mean, personal time?
Personal time meaning you can put yourself off the clock that's convenient to you. What he did it in the purpose to,
I got it.
he did it in the purpose to look as if he wasn't acting as a union president. I mean, as a supervisor and as a union president, because he took himself off the clock. We can manually, if I right now want to put in from 9:45 to 10 o'clock a.m., I can put personal time to put myself off the clock to make myself look like it's a union.
Can you do that retroact? Can you do that after the fact?
You can, yes, you can do that after the fact. You can do it before the fact. You can do it however you want to do it.
I got it.
With the day force, the way day forces work with the county, that's how you do it. So he did that to make it look like that.
Okay.
And that's why he became and add this again, it was a conflict of interest anyway, him being a supervisor and also union president. And that's the only reason why the county allowed him to do that. If you look at any other agency, law enforcement agency, you'll never see that. You're a union president or you a supervisor. You can't do both, because guess what? When Byers write me up and she's being wrongful and being racist, whose side do he supposed to take?
Okay. Now, again, we're going out of time order here, but if you'll bear with me, we're going to go to your incidents with Ms. Byers, okay?
Correct.
Okay. So, and I don't think we've got the timing of the door injury or the blood trail. Do you know which one occurred first?
The injury, I think. Yeah, the injury occurred first.
Okay. Can you tell us what happened at the briefly about the blood injury, the blood trail, I should say?
Yes. So Waukesha was in pursuit of a vehicle who was involved in the retail theft, I believe from a Kohl's store or something like that. Came into our county. We got permission from the supervisors, or they asked for assistance. We intervened. You know, we got off on 60th and Holly on I-94 eastbound. Everything happened there. Sergeant Byers was on scene, which she said she wasn't. And said she was there at the last minute. She was there because that's where me and her had our interaction. So long story short, two guys bailed on foot, ran westbound through people's yards, jumped the fence, but this fence wasn't a bar at the top of the fence. It was a chain link sharp.
Is that how you got injured?
That's exactly how I got injured.
Okay.
Jumped the gate, and I had plenty cuts that was instantly burning, bleeding, and things like that. And I've seen that Sergeant Byers, her injury report about her, that was her report that she wrote generated, and that was false, because if you connected with my actual freighter, when I got evaluated and medically cleared, you're going to see the real injuries. Whatever Byers discovered and wrote up, that is not true. She mentioned that I just had bloody hands. I actually had abrasion that was stinging. The fire department that was on scene, you know, they gave me the stuff.
But it's suffice it to say that you had, your skin was broken.
It was definitely broken.
Okay.
Yep. So.
And you believe that was obvious to Ms. Byers at that time?
Correct.
Okay. And did you discuss that with Ms. Byers at that time?
I did discuss it afterwards, well, on scene.
Okay. And did she order you to go clean up a blood trail at any time?
Yes, she ordered me. What I was telling her, I seen her, so I pulled around and parked behind her. I seen her speaking with the MPD, one of the MPD sergeants.
And just for everybody's clarification, MPD stands for
Milwaukee Police Department.
Okay.
So it happens to be, you know, conjoining agencies because it was a pursuit. So everybody kind of got involved, different municipalities and agencies, whatever. So again, I jumped the gate, cut my hand open and stuff like that. We apprehended one guy. He was down. I found the other guy laying in the front of the houses underneath the van, pulled him out. His hands was bleeding. So now we can make blood contact, but my hand's still stinging. In a point of, I made it to Byers after that. We try to explain to her, hey, I got injured. She immediately pulled me by the arm, like as if I was her kid or something, or as if I was a criminal, and she interrogated me. She reached inside my squad and she activated the, my patrol camera.
And I'm just gonna pause you for a second. You said that she grabbed you.
She grabbed me.
Did she ask you permission before she did
No,
that?
I did not ask for permission.
Okay, and you didn't give any permission?
No.
Okay, so then she physically put you inside the back of the car?
The front. So the way the squad cameras are set, they in the front where it's showing the front of the vehicle.
Okay.
She pulled me by the arm, which I'm surprised. She said she feared for her safety around me, whatever, but she always trying to hit me or pull on me. She pulled me in front of the squad, and she said, "I do not find you to be credible. If you can find that video, you will be able to see." But apparently, it expired after a certain period. She pulled me aggressively, pulled me. "I do not find you to be credible. Now go back and retrace and tell me everything that happened from the beginning." I told her everything that I just told y'all. I told her in a calm voice, calm.
And I'm sorry to interrupt, but when you say, is that her first statement? I don't find you to be credible?
Yes, that was her very first statement. When I told her I need medical attention and I was injured.
Okay, so that was the only issue. There wasn't any other discussion between you and Ms. Byers other than your injury.
Correct.
And then she immediately touched you without your permission, forcibly put you in the squad car.
No, she didn't put me in the squad car. She pulled me in front.
In front of it.
And so I can be viewed by the camera. So just like
understand.
this, just say like this, I'm out, and you pull me over. She did it to stationary me in front of the squad.
Did you, based on your knowledge and experience at that time, did you believe that she was pulling you in front of the camera?
She did.
Okay.
Your Honor, if you can let Rhonda back in, she got booted out at some point.
Good. We'll stop.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Good. We're all set? Great. So,
Yes.
She pulled me in front of the squad, and then after that, she was like, retrace and tell me everything that happened. She was upset that I got injured. She sent 2 white deputies to the hospital to be medically cleared. And I'm like, why can't I get the same gesture?
okay, so let's just pause there for a second. There was 2 other deputies that were injured, is that right?
Correct.
And what race were they?
White.
Okay. And you used the phrase, I believe, medically cleared.
Correct.
Can you explain to us what that means?
Just be medically cleared to make sure I'm okay. Like she sent 2 of them who just been injured as well during the scene. Maybe they cut their hands as well on that sharp fence. It was a sharp fence and there wasn't no pole at the top. We all, I believe, cut ourselves on the fence.
So does being medically clear involve seeing a physician?
Correct.
Okay. And then the physician clears you, so to speak.
Correct.
Okay.
And she denied me medical attention, saying, "What's the point of going to the hospital? Whatever you have already. It's not like anything can be worse." And I'm like, "What? First of all, this is my first time in this situation of being injured, chasing after somebody, and just like you sent those 2 white deputies, did you give them grief?"
Okay, and you heard her testify something along those lines that she believed that you had already been contaminated or something like that, right? Okay. So, okay. And you asked her to go see medical treatment, is that
A
right?
bunch of times.
And how do you know these 2 other white deputies were sent to be medically cleared?
Because when I got there, they was already there when I finally got there after me and Bias had our whole little ordeal. But she ordered me to go clean a fence, and I'm saying,
And I'm sorry, when you're talking about cleaning a fence
yes,
from blood,
correct.
is that an activity that a deputy normally does, is clean?
No, I never heard. That was the first time I ever heard of a deputy having to clean, and I just told her my hands was stinging. She said, "Grab the Clorox wipes or anything, and you wipe to get." I said, "My hands are burning." It was all bad. It was bad.
Did you
notify
Did you in fact clean the fence?
I did not clean the fence. My hands was stinging. I wasn't able to. I wasn't touching no Clorox or bleach, and I already got open cuts. I'm allergic to bleach as well too, so I knew not to touch anything Clorox.
Okay.
And she told me to go to that residence and notify them of proper precaution and let them know there's blood on their fence. You know, doing the,
Can I ask what neighborhood was this in?
it was right off of Harley, 60th and Harley. Those
This
houses.
is a white neighborhood or a black neighborhood? Or something else?
I believe it was more like a white neighborhood, more of a.
Were the homeowners white?
I never got a chance to go to the home, and it was too dark. It was dark to even find where blood would be at on the fence. I did look, but I didn't see any blood on there. So,
Okay, and you heard testimony from Miss Byers that there was no other deputy that was available to do that. Is that right?
correct. It was a boatload of deputies on scene, boatload.
What do you mean? I mean, how many is a boatload? Is that more than 10? What are we talking here?
Yeah, about. I'll say more than 5 for sure.
Okay, and I understood her to say that you were the only one who knew where the blood was. Do you recall that?
Yeah,
Okay, is that accurate?
it's different people on scene, and it was different people on scene, so we all knew the same trail because we was all in the same area.
Okay, and do you believe, but I mean, there's a specific spot in the fence that she's ordering you to clean, is that right?
Correct.
Based on that, do you believe that she knows where the blood is?
I didn't even know where the blood was.
Okay, but I mean, if she's telling you she's just telling you to clean blood off the fence.
Right,
Okay, and you had never been asked to clean any blood before
right.
and after?
No,
Okay. Have you ever known a white deputy to be asked to clean blood?
no.
Did she ask you to clean the blood before or after you told her that you were injured?
After I reported my injury is when she ordered me to do all this extra stuff.
Did she indicate why she didn't think you were credible?
I have no idea where that statement came from. Maybe from past instances when I complained to management about race or anything like that. I believe those are the things she could possibly trying to refer to. I'm not sure.
Okay. Now you heard her testimony, right? Miss Byers' testimony?
Yes,
Her testimony differs from yours, doesn't it?
yes. All of them differs.
All right. Let's talk about this door incident. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Okay. Now the first thing I want to know is what was the condition of the doors at this time, if you know?
And the doors are heavy, made of steel. Working properly. I never heard of no hydraulic issues until she just said it yesterday. Connected to the substation in the garage barn.
Okay. So, can you describe what happened at that incident?
Yes. And I'm going to tell you exactly how it happened, but I'm going to tell. We had an arbitration hearing about this matter, and she said she don't know what the discipline was or anything like that. Byers knew exactly what. She attended the PRB hearing.
All right. Well, let me back that up, and I can give you a second. You recall that Miss Byers stated that she wasn't aware of the results of any discipline about this, right?
Correct.
Okay. Do you believe that to be true?
No.
Why not?
Because she the one that she said she only dealt with the ones who she got the schedule. But guess who took me off the schedule when I got suspended? Miss Byers. She the one did my schedule. She knew what days I was going to be suspended. They have to communicate with each other to have me off for suspension.
Okay. And did she testify at a PRB hearing?
She did testify, and other deputies did as well. And they also admitted that she opened the door aggressively, and she was aggressive and already upset prior to getting
Okay.
the door open.
And so then, maybe I didn't get this before, but at the door incident, you went to the formal personnel review board and had a hearing about it.
Correct.
Okay. And do you know about how many PRB members heard this?
I'm not sure about how many. I believe it was definitely a few people that represented the county for sure.
Well, I'm sorry. What I'm talking about is, the PRB has like judges, right?
Right.
Okay. Do you know how many of the so-called judges there were?
One, I believe. I'm not sure. It was different people's on, just like we are on now. We're similar fashion.
Okay. So it wasn't clear to you at that time who was actually making the decision.
It was definitely a judge with the WERC, I believe.
Okay. So at that time, and this is what I want to be clear, this is with the WERC or with the PRB, the Personnel Review Board, or the WERC?
WERC.
Okay. So as a result of this door incident, there is because afterwards you are ordered to go into service supposedly, and you don't go into service according to Ms. Byers. So you have a disciplinary hearing. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And then based on your knowledge, did Ms. Byers face any discipline after this?
She didn't.
Okay. But you complained about it, right?
Yeah, I complained.
Okay. And what were you told was the reason that there was no action going to be taken, if anything?
They never gave me a reason.
Okay. And did you ever learn that Ms. Byers would not be facing any discipline?
I knew she wasn't going to, because they obviously took her side, and they upheld her whatever decision against her, even though that whole thing was dishonest, the way the report was written. But I can continue on about the facts.
I got it. Okay. So, well, because part of what I'm trying to understand here is there was actual decision makers who heard evidence about the door before today. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. And
yeah, they took no action to resolve anything that I reported.
okay.